The role of our government for the Republican side is a small government party. We focus less on business regulation and less of economic relationships. We encourage people to take personal responsibility and care for their lives and not rely on the government for things such as healthcare, food, and housing. For our manufacturing, we emphasize fiscal prudence. We vow to address having trained working force and costs associated with the federal healthcare law. The job creations. More government spending and more taxes don't create more jobs, which is what my opponent Obama believes. Obama lost over 1 million jobs over the last 4 years. We will create 12 million new jobs in the first term of my presidency is what we promised to do. Romney, actually met with the working class, while Obama actually just met with only college students. And for our tax policy, we will cut both personal and corporate tax rates, making up for the lost revenue. Get rid of the estate tax and lower corporate rate from 35% to 25%. We want to extend Bush tax cuts, which help everyone, especially the middle class, because they are the majority of our economy and they hold title as like the average man, American. 10% of the population pays 70% of the nation's taxes. The current rate is 10%, and the new rate would be 8%. I'm Mitt Romney, and I believe in America.
Okay, so President Obama thinks the government should make life better for the citizens of the United States. The government should do for the people what they cannot do for themselves, whether it be poor people who can't get a job, or sick people who can't work, or all these things. Food inspections, payment for veterans, building roads and bridges, other infrastructure, funding new ideas in medical fields, energy, and other technology sectors. The change in government tax policy, overseas. So the stances on job creation are that he wants to set goals for energy and manufacturing, then that this would create jobs. Incentives for firms to hire first-time young workers, more affordable higher education, people who are able to go to college should be able to go to college, more affordable, investing money to ensure that the government workers are not laid off, such as police officers, firemen, rewards for new businesses, ending tax loopholes for large corporations, tax cuts for small businesses, clean energy economy, looking into more renewable sources of energy, not relying on oil that comes from the Middle East or coal that's dirty, rebuilding the infrastructure as well. For tax policy, he wants tax cuts for the middle class. A typical family that makes $50,000 a year has received nearly 3,600 tax cuts for the past 4 years. More tax cuts for small businesses, eliminate unfair and inefficient tax bridges such as for large corporations. Romney reform, my opponent, includes tax cuts for very wealthy while increasing tax burdens on the lower and middle classes. So, manufacturing in particular are growing for the first time since the 1990s. Obama wants to keep this ball rolling, so to say, by removing tax deductions for companies that ship jobs overseas and providing new incentives for bringing them back home. He wants to target the domestic production incentives for manufacturers who create jobs here at home, doubling the deduction for advanced manufacturing, so more tax cuts. Introducing a new manufacturing communities tax credit to encourage investments in communities affected by job loss. This would build, produce, I guess, new jobs for people in these places that were very hard hit hardly. Providing temporary tax credits to drive nearly $20 billion domestically in energy and manufacturing. Again, this is trying to get cleaner forms of energy and also the technology sector and getting that back up and running again. Reauthorizing 100% expensing of investment in plants and equipment. building lots of new, or funding lots of new plants, institutions that will boost manufacturing, closing loopholes that allow companies to shift profits overseas. This again goes back to the large corporations who do these things such as ship generally overseas and still do some. Those are the views.